All right, everybody, welcome to another edition of Feet in the Creek. This is where friendship, faith, and fun come together. So thank you for joining us for another episode. I'm Carrie. This is Rachel and Melissa, your hosts for today. And Rachel has the hot topic, so she's in the hot seat in the middle today.
Hey everybody, welcome. Today we're going to talk about empty nesting.
Empty nesting. I love it.
Now, I will admit, there's a variety of feelings that come along with empty nesting.
Yes.
There are those.
There's just one.
There are those parents. I've heard rumor of those parents who cried when their kids got on the bus to go to kindergarten for the first time.
Yes, I was that parent.
I was happy dancing in the driveway.
I was happy dancing.
So we understand that the words empty nesting can bring a variety of feelings. I'm just saying that. I'm just prefacing your topic. Sorry.
No, I totally agree. And that was one of the things I was going to say was when I put the kids on the bus in kindergarten, it was like,
But you cried.
I did. But, I also did something really special for them. I had turkey dinner, like a Thanksgiving turkey dinner, but more simple.
Like when they got off the
When
bus?
I got off the bus.
Oh my God. I was going to
No.
a big breakfast.
It was the first day of school dinner, so it was like a really big dinner. We all got to talk about the first day of school, and it was kind of that,
Did
how
you do
was
that
your
for
day?
all 5 of your girls? Or like by kid number 5? It was just like, here's a ham sandwich.
No.
Turkey sandwich.
A turkey sandwich.
No. Traditions are pretty big in my house, so that's another topic we should talk about is traditions.
Yeah.
I know, because
Yeah.
our first day of school breakfast was always cinnamon rolls, which I didn't serve any other time because they're like no nutritional value whatsoever. And I thought I'd send them their first day all hyped up on sugar, but that's become a tradition.
Yeah, so I think that being an empty nester, you do go through a lot of different feelings. You have to be excited for your kids, but you also have to be truthful and let them know, I love you, but you got to go. I mean, put it nicely. I
Right
love
when
you.
you find work.
I love you, but you got to go. I mean, we plant the seed, do we
Yes.
not?
Yes.
We plant the seed.
Yeah.
We want them to turn into beautiful citizens, beautiful adults, right? Because honestly, do we really want a 30-year-old living at home? Which is fine if you have a 30-year-old, that's fine. And how you parent, there's no judgment here. In Feet in the Creek, no judgment whatsoever. But personally for me, I want my children to grow. I want them to come home for dinners, for family dinners. And
You want them to be independent.
we want them to be independent
Yeah.
and know that we're here for them.
Yep.
We are here for them when they need us, and not be dependent on us. And I think that's a big difference.
Right, it is.
Right. Watching them grow is such a joy for us as parents. It's just. And
Well, I think
plus-
we've all been good about that too. I mean, we've known each other for so long, and we've seen how we've parented our kids, right? And I think all of us, our kids have always had jobs. Our kids have always been hard workers.
Mhm.
Yep.
Our kids have always seen us have jobs and be hard workers.
Right.
And even when we are in that period of life where we might be staying home and taking care of our kids, they see us as hard workers. And I think
Right.
that's something really good that we've all instilled that in our own kids now.
Right.
And now
Absolutely.
we're getting to see the benefits of that. Like our kids are now leaving the nest.
Right.
And I'm so proud of both my girls for being hard workers, for being reliable workers, and for knowing what it takes to be independent.
Right.
So I'm really proud of them for that. Glad to see them go. Not gonna lie. It's like,
Really proud of my oldest. Jury's still out on the younger. We'll see.
He's doing fine.
We shall see. He may be 30 and living with me. So.
Surrogate godmother here. He's doing good.
Okay.
He's
well,
doing
I
okay.
should preface that by saying my youngest is only next door now. Okay, so
But she's still on her own.
right.
Right.
She's got a little bit of independence. She's learning how to be independent.
Right.
Yeah.
Baby
so.
steps. Once
Baby
again,
steps.
ladies, baby steps.
Jury is still out whether she's coming up every night for dinner. Is she
Oh,
coming?
I'm sure. But
That
that's
doesn't
okay.
really count.
As long as I don't have to clean the room.
But but with empty nesting, you have to remember that it's okay that our kids come home to
Yes.
dinner. It's okay that our kids come home to grocery shop in our pantry. Because
Yes.
and it's for the longest time we would have the GPS tracking on our kids. My kids are like, "Hey mom, I see you're in Wegmans. I'll be right there."
Oh, you let them see where you are?
Yeah.
Oh,
You don't have yours turned on? Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I
That's
have
the
mine
best
turned
part.
on. Yeah,
I
and they
even have my mom on it. So like
Yeah.
all of us, if you see somebody's at Wegmans or at
Yeah.
Tops, you're like, hey, I see you're at Tops. Can you bring up some milk?
Okay, can I just say, I posted a picture on Facebook, I don't even know when my son started being on Facebook, but of us sitting in the creek a few weeks ago, and he was like, so this is what you do when I'm working all day long? And I'm like,
I saw him say that. Was he kidding or was he like?
I'm thinking pretty sure he's serious. He thinks I don't do anything, and so
But you've earned this time. You've
You have.
earned this time to have your feet in a creek, so that we could better ourselves, right?
Yeah, right,
better
right, right.
ourselves, better our friendship, and we're able to do all those things. Hey.
Well, and my reply to him was, let's talk about what I do in the morning while you're still sleeping.
Right.
Yeah,
Instead of
exactly.
1 o'clock
Right.
in the afternoon.
Yeah.
you know?
So we're gonna go through different feelings. It's a grieving part, it's a happy part, it's a planning part. These are all things with empty nesters. And I did a crazy thing, empty nesting. Guess what I did? I moved my mom in. So we've had the multi-generational home, and she's with me 90% of the time, and she's with my sister, part of the time. And it's so nice she could travel. But and so it's just something. Family's family.
Well, this is at the point where I should full disclosure. I'm the one that never left home, right? Because you said you let your mom move in with you, right?
Yeah.
Well, like my husband and I moved in with my parents after we had kids. Like we had our own house for a while. They had a really big house on all this amazing property. And my mother's mother lived on one side, my father's mother lived on the other side. And they're like, we've got this huge house. It's kind of set up like a duplex. We'd love to have the grandkids, so come on over. So I think that's great. I like the multi-generational
I do.
living.
I'm starting to say I do like the multi-generation. It's sometimes it's hard. Carrie's been my very good friend. Sometimes I just I'll text Carrie and say pray. Doesn't matter where Carrie is. Could be the shower. Could be in the car driving.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because it was one of the topics that I was going to talk about, is the fact that we are SOS sisters too. It's like sisters on standby. I'm all about acronyms.
Absolutely.
SOS. Sisters on standby. I mean, there was literally a time when Rachel texted me and I was in the shower with my phone. Don't judge me. And she was like, I need prayer. And so I just immediately called her, and I'm just like, okay, what's going on? What do you need prayer for? And she was like, are you in the shower? And I'm like, you said you need prayer like right now. So I was, yeah. So, you need that in your life. You need those people who are going to do that. For me, we don't have this multi-generational, like I listen to you guys and I have a longing in my heart for that. We do not have family the way that I see you guys have family. And it's always been something I've admired about you guys.
You're our family. We
Well,
are your
exactly.
family.
Holidays literally have been with friends, not with family, because for a lot of years, and for various reasons, whether there's been, like, my husband has a lot of, there's arguing on his side of the family. My family doesn't argue. We just don't participate in each other's lives. It's just weird, So, I mean, it's just, we do talk, but, it's not something that I was raised with. I wasn't raised that way, with those traditions. It seems like a lot of the traditions that were in our family kind of stopped with my parents. My grandmother was a phenomenal Italian cook. I think my mom kind of was angry that she had to be in the kitchen all the time. You know what I mean? So I saw my grandma. I'm going to love my family with food. Now I hate cooking because I was taken advantage of. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I do think there is that thing. And so one of the things I'm looking forward to in empty nesting is, I said to my husband, I go, we are going to eat differently when it's just the
Absolutely.
two of us.
Yeah.
And we're going to need to figure out what that looks like, because while I love myself some kale quinoa cakes, he does not want that at all in his life.
Could you say that
Kale
again?
quinoa
Kale
cake.
quinoa cakes.
Oh, they're so good.
They are good.
Are they?
They are
Yeah.
good. Yeah. They
All
are
right, I
good.
do like quinoa.
Uh-huh.
Kale? Oh, they're pretty
In the
yummy.
cake?
Yeah, they're
It's not
pretty.
sweet at all, though.
Yeah.
It's like savory with
Savory.
onions and
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's really good.
And I have to say, you're right. You kind of change how you eat and how you cook when you're empty nesting. And I remember vividly, it was the first night Julie moved out. My mom was visiting my brother or something. And Ak and I just sat there. And usually it's, we're at the table in the dining room and it's semi-formal and, we're eating supper and, and all of a sudden we're at TV trays watching the news or watching a movie. I forget, we were watching TV. And he goes, "Do you hear that?" And I was like, what? He goes, "Is this what it's going to be like?" I said, yeah. And it was so quiet in our house.
I'm
It
right
was-
in the middle of that right now. And
Yeah,
it's weird.
It's weird. He's like, "Is this how it's going to be all the time?" And I'm
I
like,
know.
"Yeah, this is it. Just the two of us, kid. Like, this is
so
it."
we got to get our act together.
Yeah.
'cause it's just us
and
now.
and I found, when you're an empty nester too, the thing that changes is how you cook. Because for 5 kids for so long, you're cooking large quantities, right?
Yeah.
And now it's just the 2 of us, or sometimes the 3 of us. And so it's like, oh, do you want to split that steak, or do you want to split that salmon? And let's have some charcuterie first, and then we could have a smaller dinner.
I'm sorry, charcuterie?
Yes.
I've
Is that
never
one of
been able
those
to say that word.
boards?
That trick.
Yes.
That's how you pronounce that?
Charcuterie.
What?
Yeah.
Mind expanded. I was like, yeah, cheese and pepperoni
Cheese and cracker
board.
tray is what I said. It's a cheese and cracker tray.
Charcuterie. We
Char-
digress.
She's the fancy one.
Charcuterie. I am a foodie, and you'll learn more about that because we're going to be talking a lot about food.
We're having lunch in the creek.
Yeah,
one of
lunch
these
in the
days.
creek, and so it's going to be really, really good. But when you're empty nesting, I think your faith really has to come into play. You have to trust in God to find out what is your purpose for your marriage now that you're in a different phase. And you have to really rely on your sisterhood.
Gives you a
But it's
chance
gonna be
to
okay.
look at yourself again.
Yes.
Gives you a chance to kind of reevaluate where you are
Yes.
in life and say,
Mhm.
okay, now what? In our last episode, we talked about dreaming again with our spouse.
Right.
But it also gives us an opportunity for us to just dream for ourselves.
Yep.
Right.
You take a look. Where am I completely out of balance in my life? What do I need to start working on now? It can be about us.
Yeah.
It hasn't been about us for so long.
Yeah.
It can be about us.
What are the things? What are the 7 pillars that you want to work on, or you guys want to work on? What are they? Faith,
Yeah, we want to work on our faith,
Faith.
expanding that.
friends,
Definitely.
Finances.
Definitely.
Finances.
That's going to be huge.
Field.
Both
Field.
of us, at least in our family, our field, we're both starting new careers.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Fitness.
Fitness.
Absolutely.
That's my number 1 this year.
Yep. Help me out.
fun.
Fun. Because we have to have fun.
Ladies, don't be jealous.
Uh-oh.
Of course, maybe you already did this. I don't even know. But we were talking about what we wanted to do for fun
Yeah.
as a couple. And he's like, I know you've always wanted to do like dancing and take like dance lesson and ballroom dancing or whatever kind of dancing. He's like, I'd be up for that. And I was like, what?
Oh.
Really? And then me, in typical Carrie, I'm just like, ooh, what other couples can we do it with? He goes, no. None of our friends will see this happening.
He doesn't
but
want anyone
just
to
you
witness.
and me. But guys,
Really?
I want to do that too.
I am so excited about
I
this. Like
do.
dancing in our kitchen, just the
Yeah.
two of us.
But do you know what? I bet my husband would do it because his grandmother was a dance instructor and he remembers that fondly. And I can't get him to do a lot, meaning like he's very much a homebody. He likes
Yep.
to stay home, doesn't
And that's
really like
okay,
going, and
like-
that's fine.
Right.
That's
right.
him.
Right.
But he has mentioned to me in the past that he wouldn't mind.
I would do
Dancing.
that.
we got to get Ak on board.
Oh, he's on board.
See, now he would be that debonair dancer. He'd bring in that culture because you guys have like, I mean, you guys have like Turkish balls. Where
No,
you're,
Turkish, Hungarian.
Oh, sorry, I don't know why I'm thinking Turkey. Hungarian
Well, we
balls.
we
and,
do.
Like,
We go to charity balls, so we do waltzes. We do all that already, but
And
You
we're
know.
so far from that.
yeah,
That's
there's no
okay.
waltzing going on.
There's no
But there's the
waltzing.
fact that that's what he came up with as, hey, this is something that we're going to do for fun.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know. I was really thrilled, and like,
Yeah.
I want to cross country ski. He's willing. I want to learn how to. I don't even know what it's called. Where you get on like the surfboard and you have the sail attached to you, not attached to the board,
Oh.
up in the
Windsurfing.
up in the sky.
Oh, parasailing.
Parasailing.
No, because you get launched
Oh,
up in the sky. So you're on the water, but your sail is way up, like a kite. Is it kite sailing? Maybe.
I think so.
Something I would never do.
I cannot wait because we're gonna
I
have
would
a game,
love
but
that.
I think it's gonna be something my husband has no interest whatsoever in.
No,
But I've
no.
seen these people; they go way up in the air with their boards and stuff. But in order to do that, I got to get my body back.
Yeah.
So this
Yeah.
is like the empty nesting. These are the things that I've been thinking about and dreaming
Yeah.
about doing because now I'm gonna be like, at that time, you know, I'm not like running people and cooking big meals.
I'm
and-
excited to plan some fun. Like one of my goals this year was actually to come up with, what do they call that list?
The bucket list.
Bucket list.
I don't have
Yeah.
a bucket list.
Oh, I have a bucket
How do
list.
you have a bucket list?
I have a bucket list.
I don't have a bucket list.
I have
My
a couples.
goal-
I have a couples bucket list.
My goal this
Yeah.
year is to come up with a bucket list. So I have to dream and
So
figure
number
out
one on your
what it
bucket
is.
list is to make a
To
bucket
create
list.
a bucket list.
Yeah, again, step by step by step.
It's little
Yeah.
steps.
So
Yeah.
actually, one of our couple bucket list items that we talked about when we
That's a
first
good
got
idea.
married
Couples bucket
was
Couple bucket.
by the couple bucket. Yeah.
Couples bucket.
So that we wanted to build a car together, like redo
Wow.
an old car together in our garage.
So cool.
I know, because we're both kind of car people, and he likes to work on old cars, and
That would be one that
I-
you two could like tool around together in, like
yeah, like a little
take to
sports
shows and-
car.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yeah,
make it a convertible.
absolutely.
You guys will be so cool.
Yeah.
Driving down the road,
But that's
top
something-
down. We
That'd
built this together.
Yeah, really.
cool.
Whether it's a car kit or refurbishing an older car, that's something that I would love to do together with
You
them.
could turn that into a business entrepreneur and make it car flipping.
No, thank you.
Flip this car.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I
No,
think
no.
If you get through one without hurting
Yeah.
each other, it would probably be
Well,
a win.
you think about so we've done that project together. We've redone our bathroom, and the last tile is 3 a.m. and is it gonna break? And oh my gosh! And yeah, so we've had our blood, sweat, and tears into the bathroom floor. So
That's really cool, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
Good.
But I do think that with this whole idea of empty nesting, you have to have your plan ahead of time. Like I had to sit down with my son last year and say, listen, over the next 12 months, as you are in your senior year of high school and getting ready to graduate and go to college, Dad and I have to make some changes and some plans, and we can't wait till after you leave. So when you see us making these plans, it's not because we can't wait to get rid of you, but
Right.
we know that you can't wait to get on with your next stage of life in adulting and all of that stuff. And we don't want to wake up one day 5 months after you left and go, who are you and what are we doing with our life?
Well,
Yeah.
it's great for our kids to see us
Right.
planning with our spouse.
absolutely.
It's great that they see that.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
know?
because so many people with empty nesting, I think that sometimes they grow apart, and it's okay to grow apart as long as you find each other again. And I'm not saying find yourself and find hobbies and leave home and do all those things. I'm saying find a common bond and your individuality, right? But make sure you put your marriage first. We want to work on our marriages. I think it's really important. And then I think that, you were friends to begin with, and you need to find that friendship, and you need to keep it light, because
That's great advice.
so many things can bring you down. Money, kids, in-laws,
Health.
health. Those are so many things that can bring you down, and
Yeah.
you got to find the balance in everything.
That's so true. That is
Yeah.
brilliant advice.
Yeah.
Love it.
So I'm looking forward to this phase.
Yeah.
It feels like the start of something new, and I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we're not moving or anything.
Yeah. I remember Julia was in a freshman, and I'm thinking, oh crap, like I got 4 years to figure this out. I did. I remember saying like she's leaving for college in 4 years, or maybe she's not going to college, and that's okay, but she did. But I was like, I remember freshmen going, oh geez, and I'm not usually that ahead of the time planner, right, Carrie? I'm kind of spur of the moment person, but it kind of
work.
but.
Okay, I gotta make a plan. Hold on.
But it kind of hit me like, oh gosh, in 4 years, like what are we going to be doing? And sometimes, like I said, you drift apart a little, right? And that's okay. But make sure you drift back together, and you're throwing each other that life vest, okay, or that safety net, okay? Because I think sometimes we're going to stumble in our marriages, and we're going to need that safety net from each other, right? And so it's so important when you're empty nesting not to forget that, like, it's going to be new again. It's like when you have a new baby, or you just get married, right? Or you have a new puppy. You don't know what you're doing. So it's like, you have to reinvent things, and you have to rethink things, and just not so be quick with judgments and my way or the highway type of thing. You've got to
Right.
be a little lenient and respect each other's opinions.
So I want to ask a question. We know what you're doing with empty nesting. You're leaving the nest. You're hopping out of the nest.
The nest is sold,
The nest
baby.
the nest is gone.
Let's high five her on that.
Pretty good.
Like
yeah.
she did that in like
Yeah.
minimal time. Good for you.
But for
Bravo.
those of us
Yeah.
who are keeping the nest,
Yes.
what have you done different with your nest now that you've got more space?
Oh, she's got a grandkid going in a closet.
You got a
Well,
grandkid?
no, in a bedroom that was converted to a very beautiful walk-in closet. Thank you, my husband. It was very thoughtful of you.
That's what you're doing with the nest.
And you've got
Yeah,
another
making
room
space
that
for a new egg.
Mom, new egg, and you brought in Mama Bird.
I
is,
did.
Is occasionally.
Yep, she's
Right,
with
half
us,
the year.
and that's a learning experience too, having a multi-generational home, and
Yeah.
it's great because she cooks phenomenally. Like
That's a
and when the
plus.
kids know Grandma's cooking,
Yeah.
they all show up.
I love
It's
it.
like the text went out.
When is
Grandma's
she cooking?
And that's going to
Grandma's
be
cooking.
that's
Well,
going to
thank
be
you.
your future.
I hope
Your
so.
That'll be
grandkids are going to know when grandma's cooking. It's time to come home
so
Yeah, I
true.
hope
to
so.
the nest,
It will be.
wherever
That'll
the
be
nest
your
happens
thing.
to be.
For sure.
It might be in the apartment upstairs from you because I want your clubhouse.
From your lips to God's ears, wouldn't that be fantastic?
So I'm just looking forward to putting my house back in order. Because
Yeah.
my house has been very chaotic and messy, And
Yeah.
I got to the point where I gave up. For me, it was like, what were my priorities? And so often my priority was I needed to help one of my children,
Right.
And the house really did take a beating. not in terms of holes in walls or anything, but it was laundry doesn't get folded. Things aren't as clean as I would like to see them. I'm really looking forward
Yeah.
to kind of clean sweep.
Yeah.
Just kind of go. Was it Marie Kondo or what is that program where they
Yeah.
do you love it? Keep it. If you don't, toss it. I'm
Right.
really looking forward to kind of going through the house, purging, getting rid of it. I'm sure you did a lot of that, right? Going
the
through
process,
house.
yeah.
We should do a purge challenge.
I like that.
We
And this
In our
kind
wool
of goes.
dresses.
I was just gonna say that.
that?
You stole my
Say it again.
thunder.
In our wool dresses.
Oh.
So we've decided, right, that
Yep.
we're gonna do the 100-day Just Challenge, which is you wear the same dress for 100 days because it's supposed to help you realize that you don't need so much stuff. And if you have a few really nice quality pieces of clothing, that's really all you need, right? So we're gonna try it. It'll be
We are.
interesting. And I'm really looking forward to, at the end of that, reevaluating my wardrobe and saying, you know what, 3/4 of this can go. I don't need it.
Right.
That would be so freeing. And I want to do that with everything. I want to go through my kitchen cabinets. Do you really need 600 pieces of plastic?
I mean, how many spatulas can you use at one time, huh?
I don't know. And I don't have lids to half of the plastic containers I have under my sink. I'm looking
Right.
forward to getting rid of it. And
Yeah.
keeping the 3 glass ones that I have the lids
So
for.
sprucing up the nest.
Sprucing up the nest.
Yep.
Sprucing up the nest.
I'm looking
I like
forward to that.
And Carrie will give us tips on how to let go. Because from her moving from a house,
Was that hard?
right?
Was it
yeah.
hard to let go of stuff?
Well, this is actually, we get the keys to the apartment this week. So I'll let you know as I've already been kind of organizing and going through things, but at this point it's what I'm actually bringing up those stairs into the apartment is going to be intentional.
Yes.
Everything else stays behind. We close on the house in 6 weeks. So I've got 6 weeks to decide what gets to keep and
Yeah.
what gets to go. But I'm also keeping in mind that the apartment is the halfway house between the house and living in an RV.
Which is the ultimate goal for you guys, right?
At least
Because you
for
wanna
a little
travel.
while. Yep. Because we're all about, we want to get to a minimalistic life. Our next nest has to be minimal and simple. We want to live simply. We don't want to be a slave to the things that have cluttered our house and our mind.
Beautiful.
Just like you're saying, looking forward to cleaning it. I even started second guessing myself because I'm like, wait a minute. When this man child of mine leaves for the other side of the country, we're not going to have the mess. It's not that he's that messy. It's just that we all tend to live, on the go so much that it's
Things
it's
get
an
put
issue.
down.
Yeah.
Things get left on the dining
Yeah.
room table. Things get
And he
put
has
on
more
the
shoes
chair.
than I do, okay? And they're size 13. So, I mean, we could
take up a
swim
lot of
down this
space.
river and,
Paddle.
on his shoes. But so part of me was like, why am I leaving my house and my pool and my beautiful, and then I remembered, okay, I still have too much stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, you guys will go through the process with me. You'll see it. You'll be a
We
part
will.
of that.
We will be there for
Yeah.
her
Yeah.
for sure.
Cheering you on.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's the important thing is that we're all going to be together,
Yep.
right? Friends, we're going to be together.
Yep.
through
So-
all of the milestones in our life, big and little.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, probably as we wrap up this episode, one of the main points would be make sure you have your SOS sisters, you know, the
Soul
people,
sisters.
those sisters that are on standby whenever you need them,
Mm-hmm.
and that, you know, we're going through life together.
Absolutely.
important.
Yeah.
We're there no matter what.
And I think it's just really, and I meant to mention this in the last episode, but you know, I talked about how, you know, don't bash your spouse on social media. What's so great about it is we've had times when we've talked about our frustrations in marriage, and I know that when I share with you my frustrations, you don't judge my husband and like you're not mad at him.
No, not at all.
You know what I mean? And there's been times throughout it where we were close to giving up on our marriage, and I think, you know, I can.
we
speak
all
to this, been-
think it.
we all think that we've
We
been
all think
close
it.
to this,
but
and
happy we didn't.
Yep. Yep.
We didn't pursue.
And I know you guys have my back,
We
but I
all
also
have-
know that you're going to
right.
still love my husband at the end of the day.
Right.
and
We
you're
all
gonna
get
help me.
frustrated. We all cry. We all get angry. We just can't stay angry and
Yep.
stay frustrated.
Yep.
That's a really important
Yeah.
thing. Is that, and we have to forgive and forgive ourselves, right? So hard. We're like, oh, you know, it's okay. We tell our kids, you know, it's okay. Don't do it again, or you know, you really hurt me. But I think it's okay. It's really important that we have to forgive ourselves
See, that's
because
us.
we're the hardest on
That's
ourselves.
a whole nother episode. Holy cow.
Yeah,
That's huge.
That is huge
Yeah.
because we carry
Goodness.
the world. Moms carry the world,
True.
right? We just don't manage our own lives. We manage everybody's lives.
Yep.
And so sometimes things come crumbling down, and
Yeah.
we do. We just have to just forgive ourselves for having a really rough day
Give ourselves and dream again.
and dream again.
And dream
Yep.
again.
Absolutely.
Moral of the story. So,
Moral of the story is to
Yeah.
all right. For our nest.
Yes.
And
For
all
our
that it
dream.
will
For our
hold,
families.
and
Pray
all
for
that it
your
won't.
families. Yes.
for our empty nesting and all the little eggs that will come into it.